Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here to break down the Denver versus Minnesota showdown slate. Fortunately, I don't think we're going to have any more two-game slates this year on Draftkings, but they should have the two-day slates, two games. Yeah, we got game 6 here with Denver and Minnesota. It's been a really interesting series so far. I'm excited to talk about this showdown slate. If this is your first time watching cover content for DFS, as well as for player prop stuff like Prize Picks, Underdog, and Parlay Play, who is the sponsor of today's video. If you guys are not on Parlay Play, you can use the link down below for a $100 deposit match bonus. But how it works is, again, it's a player prop site. You're building out slips of player props and all the different sports they have to offer are up here. They also offer alternate lines. I would highly recommend it. I've been having a lot of fun over there on Parlay Play. And if you guys do click the link and deposit, it does help support the channel. So I'd greatly appreciate that. And if you're looking for more content for DFS or Prize Picks, you can check out my Patreon linked in the description. Okay, so recapping tonight, I was just rat piss, man. Literal rat piss. Isaac Okoro way underowned and a massive foul trouble, and then a career night for literally absolutely no reason for Marcus Morris. The fact that Cleveland team kept it competitive against Boston is another story. I'm so mad. So mad. I just got hooked out of a 25x on Prize Picks for WNBA from a garbage time bucket to Diamond to Shield. So the pain is real. Had to get that out of the way. So rat piss, man. Rat piss. Also, one other thing, I'm going to be traveling this weekend, going to a wedding, so probably won't be getting any more YouTube videos from me this weekend. But let's just talk about the showdown slate. So we'll start off with Denver. So Denver, once again, they're listing Jamal Murray on the injury report as questionable. He's going to play. He's been on the injury report last like five games or so. But let's take a look at the rotation last game. So 35 minutes from Michael Porter Jr., 41 minutes from both Jamal Murray and Jokic. Not a big surprise. 33 minutes from Aaron Gordon, 37 for KCP. The one guy that played a lot off the bench was Christian Braun, 28 minutes. You saw a few seconds of Peyton Watson there at the end of the half for defensive purposes. But he's been out of the rotation. You saw 6 minutes of Reggie Jackson and 15 minutes of Justin Holiday. So they basically ran a 7-man rotation, Denver. So top end, you got Jokic at 14K, Jamal Murray at 9.6. I mean, I've been prioritizing Jokic the last three or four slates. It's been working out the last three slates, I believe. It's been working out in a big way. I mean, he is the best player in the world for a reason. I know the price is up there, but yeah, they really can't stop him. So Jokic looks great. He's going to be massive chalk, as he should be. Now, can you play Jamal Murray over Nikola Jokic in tournaments? Yeah. I mean, Jamal Murray's been way more up and down. Jokic has been pretty consistent. We've seen some pretty low floor games from Jamal Murray. Like last game, only 24 fantasy points in 41 minutes. But we've also seen those pop-off games from Jamal Murray as well. I do think it's in the range of outcomes that Jokic could go for, maybe 50, 55, and Jamal Murray has a huge game. Or you can try to play both and just hope Denver, blows out Minnesota, kind of like what we see in the last few games here. Then you got Michael Porter Jr. at 8.6, Aaron Gordon at 8K. So for me, these guys are a little bit too close in price to Jamal Murray, or I would just rather pay up a little bit more for Jamal Murray. Not saying you can't play MPJ and Aaron Gordon. Again, they've both had some good games. MPJ's been a little bit quiet of late. Aaron Gordon's had a couple big games recently, 50 and 40 fantasy points. He's been shooting the ball really well. They've been leaving open, but I still think both those guys are a little bit more of contrarian options, that being MPJ and Gordon. Now, I was pretty high in KCP as contrarian play. Talked about that in the Patreon stream last slate. He actually made some shots, and look what happens when he makes some shots. 31 fantasy points. Now, that was probably close to a ceiling, right? You're not going to get a ton more of that from KCP, but he's going to play big minutes in competitive games as long as there's no foul trouble. So I think he's a solid play there, solid value play if you consider him value. And then Christian Braun. Minutes have ticked way up on him. He's playing good defense, 25, 28 minutes. I also think he's a pretty good value play. I think he'll be pretty popular based on the recent games. I do think you can consider playing a guy like Justin Holiday over him in tournaments. Holiday had been playing more than Brown earlier in the series, and then later on it's been more Brown. But if Justin Holiday comes off the bench and plays well, it's possible he could play more than Christian Braun. So I think Brown's a bit more optimal. He's a little pricier, but Justin Holiday is still viable as a value play there at 2.8. And then Reggie kind of just a punt play, 2.4. Minutes have ticked down, 8, 9, 7 minutes over the last 3 games. Not completely out of play because of the price point. He can go for 10 fantasy points in 7, 8 minutes, but really don't see the minutes upside from him unless something really weird happens. That's Denver. Now, Minnesota is the more interesting team to talk about because we have the big piece of news, Mike Conley questionable. Now, he was unable to play last game, so we'll keep a close eye on that. NAW got the start for him. This is what the rotation looked like. So NAW picked the start, played 39 minutes. So he's the biggest beneficiary if Mike Conley can't play. The other starters played huge minutes as well. 44 for Ant. Cat played 37, 40 minutes for Gobert, 30 minutes for McDaniels. Off the bench, Slow-Mo played 16 minutes. Monte Morris played 11. And Naz Reid, who dealt foul trouble, played 19 minutes. Okay, so Anthony Edwards in a do-or-die game at 11.6K, I think looks pretty good at the top. I think I prefer Ant to Cat. Now, the only issue with Ant is they're doubling him a lot, right? So Denver is kind of selling out to stop Anthony Edwards. And if you're worried about that, if you're worried about, the constant double teams on Ant, go to Cat. But I think for me, they're close enough in prices where I would just lean spending up for Anthony Edwards. But yeah, Karl-Anthony Towns, if he avoids foul trouble, 38 minutes of back-to-back games, the ceiling's clearly there for him. Then you got Rudy Gobert at 8.4, played 40 minutes. Did have a solid game in 40 minutes. 18, 13, 3, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. I think he's probably a little bit safer than Karl-Anthony Towns, where again, I think Cat has a bit of a higher ceiling when he's really getting it going. And then Conley, if he does play, and there's no limit, nothing like that, he's good to go. I think he's pretty safe. Gonna play low to mid 30s minutes, assuming he doesn't aggravate that injury. Probably get you somewhere around 25 to 35 fancy points. So it's always my same breakdown with Conley. Not a guy with a very high ceiling, but probably won't kill you either if he does play. And again, if he sits, NAW becomes the best value on the board. Played 39 minutes last time out, so he would look really good there. Naz Reid, I don't think will be that popular because last game only 20 minutes. But again, he dealt some foul trouble. Also, something to note for that rotation, they closed with the 3 big lineup. They closed with Naz, Gobert, and Cat. So I think that's the first time we saw that all series from Minnesota. So maybe there's a little bit of a higher minute ceiling there from Naz Reid. So I think he's a little bit interesting. McDaniels at 5.2. Obviously dealt with a little bit of foul trouble. If he avoids foul trouble, he's going to play big minutes, but that's always the one downside of McDaniels. He's more out there for defensive purposes. And then Kyle Anderson is 3.2. If Mike Conley is in, a little bit tough to get to him. If Mike Conley's out, though, you're going to get a bump in minutes. Again, he played 16 minutes last game, so Slow-Mo would look like a pretty good value there at 3.2. And the last guy to mention is Monte Morris at 2.2. He got dusted off and played 12 minutes. Definitely a viable punt if Mike Conley's out. Mike Conley's in, I don't think we see Monte Morris play. And then if Mike Conley's out, is it possible you could see a little bit of Jordan McLaughlin? Maybe. But they went to Morris. Sites across the industry were kind of torn in what they wanted to do when DFS sites, that is. When Mike Conley got ruled out, there were some sites, they're kind of splitting the minutes between Morris and McLaughlin, and it ended up being Morris being the 8th guy. But yeah, so again, if Conley's out, it's NAW that benefits the most, and then you get a minutes bump for Slow-Mo, and then Monte Morris should be in the rotation. All right, guys, I know it was a bit of a shorter video, but that's going to wrap it up for the Showdown slate. We got 100K to first. Good luck. Hopefully someone that is watching this video can take it down, and we'll see you all in the next one.